Hi everybody, welcome to Armored Pants and Littlefinger's mega giveaway. 8 amazing prizes to give away this evening. We extended a little bit to give you guys a little bit more time, and I think that was worthwhile because we had a lot of entries over the last couple of days as well. So thanks very much, and all you latecomers, welcome. So welcome to you, Littlefinger. You want to say a few words?
Well, yeah, just a big thank you to everybody that participated in this event. It was a lot of fun. I really appreciate you putting together the videos and the spooky words, and of course us hiding those within our videos that we put up. So it was a lot of fun.
Absolutely, a lot of fun, yeah, and I think made the whole Halloween gameplay a little bit more exciting, I think, for our subscribers. And also from a personal note, I think it was really great working with you. It's our first collaboration together, so it was really great, really cool, especially as you are at this longer than me, right? So when I started doing my first videos, I think you already had like 200 done. So you are definitely a veteran of this.
Don't remind me. It's been a long time. Yes.
Yeah, but well deserved. And you know, I watched your videos before I ever made one, so it was really pleasure for me to and a privilege for me to be able to work with you on this. So really appreciate it. Thank you. So we have a few questions and answers, right? So
Sure.
We spoke a little bit earlier. So I think what we'll do is we'll do a bit of Q&A. Then we've got a lot to give away, right? So let's go. We'll give away 4 at a time. Let's do your 4 first. Then we'll have another bit of Q&A, and then we do my 4, and then we do a wrap up. Sound good?
Sure.
Okay. So I actually think you got some really cool questions on from your subscribers and your channel. So you want to kick it off?
Yeah, I did. I threw this out and got a couple good questions come back, and so this is the one that is kind of deep here. If you could get wargaming to change any one thing about the game, what would it be?
And they can't rename Armored Pants Blitz now. So, yeah, okay. No, I think it's a very good question actually, as you said, quite deep as well, quite cerebral. I mean, there's a couple of things. Firstly, and I think you've spoken extensively about this on your channel as well. I would build an algorithm in that you can't buy a premium tank unless you've unlocked that level in tech tree. I think that would stop. I think that would improve gameplay for experienced players, but also stop inexperienced players making mistakes, very bad mistakes, by playing beyond their capability. And then the second thing I would do is, and I actually did a video about this a couple of years ago, I would introduce some sort of loyalty card or loyalty scheme, so that the more you play or the more you spend, you get some, well, I call them Blitz bits, but you could call them whatever you want, some sort of currency that allows you to spend, because if you look at why wargaming has promotions, that they're trying to encourage people to play more and to get in new players. Sure. And also to stop people leaving or to bring people back because because the game is more interesting again. And I think if you had a loyalty program where, and it's not, obviously I think you should be rewarded for spending money on the game, right? Because ultimately that's what keeps the game going, right? People spending money. But secondly, for those who can't afford it, but who play a lot, who also contribute to the whole community and the whole gaming experience, they should be rewarded for playing more as well. So, I'm not talking just getting XP and credits, but something which can be exchanged later on then for, premium tanks, or, let's say, for example, you had 10,000 of these Blitz coins or whatever you want to call them, and you could exchange, and let's say a new tank comes out, you could exchange them for it. They'd be worth half the value of the tank or something like that. So it would also encourage people to spend more money, right? So that's sort of an idea I had. So what about you, Littlefinger? What would you change?
Well, the easy answer would be to reverse 5.5, update for 5.5. Let's I'm not going to beat around the bush on that one. I think having all of those fun tanks, the A20s, the Hetzers, and all of those tanks that we used to love to play taken out of the game basically made the game half of what it is. You've only got Tech tiers 5 through 10 now to play. I mean, I can't tell you going down to tier 4 or below the last time I did that. And then obviously that was Wargaming's intent, was to take someone like me who has tens of thousands of battles and keep them away from the newer people that are struggling to work their way up. But on the flip side, they made it too easy for those guys, taking away so many of those tanks to get them to the higher tiers too soon.
Yeah. And I also think there is a kind of it was also a bit counterintuitive as well, in that, you know, you could start much earlier on things like tank destroyers before 5.5, right? So I think there was tank destroyers even at tier 1 and tier 2, right? So by the time you got to tier 5, you were quite an experienced TD player.
That's right.
Whereas now tier 4 is the earliest you can start, and in some levels tier 5 or 6, right? So it means you can find yourself in a tier 7 game with maybe only a few hundred battles behind you in a TD, and that's not really enough, I think. So in a way, it's also a bit counterintuitive, as I said. But yeah, that's a good one as well. And I think a lot of the legacy or more experienced, or let's say older Blitz players like us, would probably really welcome that, right? Because we had a lot of fun. I mean, the A20 with that chain gun was just was a beast, right? So
yeah, there were so many good tanks down there. That you get on a losing streak, you know, when you're grinding a tank, it's fun just to play something different. And people are always asking, well, what's your favorite tank? What's your favorite tank? Well, you know, there's a reason I don't have more than 600 battles in a single tank. It's because I love playing diverse, different tanks. So
absolutely.
And I think by implementing 5.5, they took away a bunch of those tanks.
Yeah, so absolutely. And I think, you know, was it 2 events ago, you got the DWT with the Battle Pass, DW2, sorry. And, you know, I think a lot of players playing that for the first time, they've no idea what a tank that used to be to play, right? It was like
amazing, yeah.
I mean, that's where I learned how to side scrape and how to play angle and how to play heavy tank in that, right? So
yeah.
So, and skills that you can then carry up with you through the tiers. But yeah, like you, I get why they did it. They definitely don't want people like you and me down there, right? So
well, it ended seal clubbing for sure.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. But at the same time, I think it also took away a huge aspect of the game that a lot of people enjoyed, right? So, but anyway, yeah, I think good question.
You had another one here for you,
right?
Yeah. And so this goes to our giveaway, which is the 2 war chests, which is 10,000 gold and 10 million credits, right? And so the question is, if you were to win the war chest, what would you spend that on?
Good question. Well, it's a good question. I think, isn't there there's a new check line of medium tanks coming, right? I think somewhere in the next update after.
Correct.
They're in development anyway, right? So
Yep.
I'd probably keep it for those, so that maybe I could, you know, spend it buying those tanks. I think that might be it. Yeah. And what about you?
Well, I mean, I think me personally, that's a tough choice because my garage is full. You know, but if I'm a newer player and I receive that prize, then I would look to probably spend 2,000 on 30 days of premium time, so that making that grind that much easier. You get a lot more credits and EXP when you have premium time. And then save the 8,000. We've got some events coming up, which usually have good prices. We've got Black Friday, end of November. I think it's November 27th, and then into the auctions that typically come up with the Christmas event. So you know, try to find a good deal on a premium tank at one of those 2 events. Yeah.
Cool. And I think that's a great tip, actually, because I think the Christmas event, well, Black Friday, as you said, is always good, but I think the Christmas event usually has almost nearly every premium collectible tank is available somehow, right? So
right. Usually through an auction, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's a good call too. Like it. I like it. So maybe just before we go in to do your winners from your videos, one of the questions that came up on my channel for you specifically is, how did you choose the name Littlefinger? Which is,
Yeah.
I'm
So
also interested in that as well. So
this is a long story. Hopefully you have a few minutes for it, but
sure.
this goes back to Walkie Talk. And I don't know if you know Walkie Talk, but he is my 12-year-old son. Um, did not start out as my son, interestingly enough. So 6 years ago, when the game first came out, he was over at our house, and I know him because he is the son of my ex-wife. Okay, so he introduced me to this game. At the time, my in-game name was Big D, which is what everyone on my tennis team used to call me because I had a really big left-handed serve and with some funky spin, and so that's how I got that nickname. And so he would always call me Big D, and we would always call him Littlefinger. And so one of the times that he came over, and his father would leave us for a week or 2 weeks during the summer while they went off gambling in Las Vegas, and so he didn't have his tablet with him. So I set up a new account, and we just called it Littlefinger. And so that's when I was starting to really get interested in the game. It's one of those where I'm 45%er, and I'm thinking, why am I losing? Why am I losing? Is when I start getting interested more in technique and whatnot. And so I started picking up other channels like Bushka and whatnot and learning how to get better. And I thought, you know what, I could, and I turned things around, and my win rates went up,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. And so I got to a point where, hey, I want to start my own YouTube channel. And I thought, Littlefinger, obviously, Game of Thrones was really big back then, 4 or 5 years ago. And Littlefinger is a character that, with simple means, so to speak. He wasn't born with all this wealth and
Yeah.
everything. And his catchphrase was "knowledge is power." And that just resonated with me, that hey, if you do know how to play this game, you can win more in it. So I kind of took my account and changed the name over to Littlefinger, and that's how the channel started. But to finish the story out about Walkie Talk, both of his parents died a couple years ago, in separate
Oh,
instances, and so my wife and I adopted him 2 years ago. So it's kind of a full
wow.
round story there. So
Okay. Well, I mean, firstly, I didn't know any of this, mate. So that's a beautiful story, I have to say. And I would have put money on it just being purely Game of Thrones related. So that's really fascinating. And also, thanks for sharing that. I mean, that's a really
yeah,
personal story. And I think also this is one of the things about the Blitz community, right? That, it's not just, there's a lot of toxicity in that, but it's not just about that. There's some beautiful people and moments in it. And thanks for sharing that.
yeah,
So,
absolutely. And it it extends into much bigger region than what we're used to. I mean, heck, you're across the world from me right now, and
yeah,
and
yeah,
everyone's all over the place, and that is great. Just some of the friends that I've made through this game, it's been wonderful.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree with that. I've made some fantastic friends too, and lucky enough being able to meet some of them and have a beer with them.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
not so easy at the moment with COVID, but hopefully when this is resolved,
true.
we'll
Yeah,
hopefully you and I can have a beer together as well, right? So it'd be great. I look
absolutely.
forward to
Yeah.
that. Um, okay, well, so that's fantastic, and it kind of linked to me in very indirectly in a roundabout way. But of course, Littlefinger is played by an Irish actor from Dublin, Aidan Gillan.
Mhm.
So my hometown. So sort of a
Yes.
bit of a link there as well. So yeah,
Nice.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
going through the Peaky Blinders right now, and he's in that
Okay,
too as well. So yeah,
he's in that too, and
yeah.
also the main character is also played by an Irish actor, Killian Murphy. Not from my hometown. He's from Cork, the
Yeah.
rebel county down the south.
Yeah.
But another fine actor.
Yeah.
So Peaky Blinders is a fantastic TV show, I have to say. So okay, so Dan, I guess we're going to jump off and do the random picks for your four winners. But do you want to maybe tell the guys what the prizes are that you have lined up for your four videos?
Absolutely. So for my four, I've got the 1 month of premium time, and then I've got two tier 8 Tech Tree premium tanks, And the big one is obviously that war chest.
Okay, cool. All right, so
All
let's
right.
jump in and see who the winners are. Okay, welcome
All
back,
right.
guys. Congratulations to those winners. I think maybe Dan, you want to say a few words? Congratulations, because I think you had a huge response in your channel, right? So
Yeah, absolutely. It's been fantastic. As you say, the channel being as old as it is, and I've been slowly growing, and to see the channel grow over 10% in the last 3 weeks is just fantastic. So I appreciate, all of the new subscribers and those that have been with me for a very long time, for taking the time to enter.
yeah, absolutely. And I think any new subscriber that's come along to you in the last few weeks, they won't be disappointed. As I said, I watched your videos before I even had my own channel, or before I even thought about how to even
Mm.
think about doing a channel. So definitely they won't be disappointed, and well deserved. And they're supporting a really great and dedicated channel and dedicated blitzer in yourself. So congratulations to those winners, and congratulations to you on gaining some new subscribers, but also maybe for this whole thing, because this is a lot of it was your brainchild. So congratulations, thank you very much. Okay, so let's have a couple of more questions. So I had this is a question that was kind of asked before, but people were interested in your perspective. What is your favorite tank in history? So not like that's in Blitz. So for example, like a Tiger in Blitz doesn't really represent Tiger Woods. But if you had to, from a historical context, what would be your favorite tank?
Oh, that's a good question. You know, it's interesting that you say that, because there's Columbus, Fort Benning, just an hour and a half from me. They are currently filling it up with historic tanks. And I can't wait for them to open. It's been a while, but they just recently moved in a T-28, and been watching the videos on this tank that I don't know if it ever really saw action on the battlefield, but it's just absolutely huge, 60 tons without the engine,
Wow.
upwards of 90 tons. They have to put double tracks on it, to move it. And that, to me, there's a lot of great tanks. They've got the Bulldogs, and they've got an IS-3. They've got the class of 1945, they call it, and just so many tanks there. I can't wait to go see. But just to go see a tank of this size, I think that is going to be pretty amazing to see.
Okay, yeah, that sounds fantastic, and the fact that you have it kind of in your back garden, you can go down and have a look, is really cool.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah. I don't know the full history on it, actually seeing battle or shooting, but they ended up using it for training on how to move tanks of this size, and it kind of went all around the United States, being a test tank on how to move heavy
okay,
ordnance, and
interesting.
an event. And I think it got lost for a few years too, and it
Yeah.
was found by a farmer in a field. But
So yeah, well, interesting story as well. Cool.
yeah.
I answered this before. I think on the stream I did with Muffin. So
Uh-huh.
if I had to pick a tank, I'd say the Panther, and just because, as I said in that video, I read a book recently called Retribution, which is about the Eastern Front in 1943,
Yeah.
and there's one scene in it where a Panther that actually its engine is not working, so it's dug in, and they get attacked by T-34s, and I think it takes out on its own like 24 T-34s. It was
Wow.
just a fearsome machine. I mean, the problem the Germans had was they couldn't make enough of them, right? And
Yeah.
the first batch were incredibly unreliable. There was problems with the engine, the transmission, everything. But once they resolved those, it was an incredibly effective tank.
Yeah.
Maybe more effective even than the Tiger, because it was more maneuverable and had faster reload. So yeah.
Because it had a better, more accurate at longer distances.
I mean, it had a 75 millimeter gun, right? The Tiger
Yeah.
had the 88 millimeter, so it had a bit more punch. But the Panther's muzzle velocity was phenomenal, so it could punch through, I think over 100 millimeters of armor at like 2 kilometers or something like that. So it was incredible.
Right.
Obviously, I mean, the gun on the Tiger obviously was also just out of this world. The tanker ace, so the best tanker ace ever is a guy called Kurt Knipschel, who was a German, obviously German tanker. And he has a recorded confirmed kill on the Eastern Front at 3 kilometers in a Tiger.
Wow.
Which is just incredible, right?
Way.
So,
yeah.
I mean, I think it was actually plus 3,000 meters, so slightly over 3 kilometers. And that kill was actually confirmed as well. So, so that's, I mean, any weapon that could do that was just phenomenal, right? So, but yeah, so, I think, but I think the Panther, it was just, it was more maneuverable, had a higher rate of fire, and even the tanker aces themselves, with the exception of Otto Canaris, Carius, sorry, a lot of them preferred the Panther. So, but anyway, that would be my pick. So quite different tanks, T-28 and the Panther, right? So,
definitely.
Okay, so just a couple of other questions then before we go to the next draw. Lookman 10 has asked, given all the tanks that we reviewed in the tech trees, what would we say is the most rewarding and fun to play? And it's just our personal opinion. So
yeah, that's an easy one. For me anyway, even after all the changes to it, is the VK 2801. It's got everything I like in a tank. It's maneuverable, it's fast, it gets into and out of trouble without problems. It just has a super accurate gun, and it's kind of my favorite play style as well.
Yeah.
So kind of interesting. I think it kind of links in with this newest event, with the Agent being out there.
Yes.
Very similar, copy and paste tanks a little bit, but
yeah. I mean, that would definitely be up there. It's in my top 10 tanks for sure. I mean, I would just go for the RU-251, just because I think it's maybe one of the most challenging tanks to play, right? Because it has.
That's what I was going to say. It's tough to play.
Yeah. And I think so. I think it might have been a Bushka video, or it might have been Martin video. I'm not sure. But I remember one of them saying, it might have been actually Bushka. I remember him saying that if you want to sort of judge your progress in the game, if you can play the RU-251 well, then you are a good Blitz player.
Yeah.
So he said, so forget about win rates and average times and all those things. But if you can play the RU-251 consistently well, so I kind of set myself that goal. And, then, I became a pretty good light tank player. But, because you're up there at tier 8 and then tier 9, sometimes you've got tanks that can one-shot you, or certainly take away 80-90% of your hit points in one shot. It's
you have
challenging.
To be aware.
You have to be aware,
absolutely.
yeah. So, but when you play well in it, it's really rewarding, right? And it was the first tank I power slided as well, which is cool. Right? So, I'm not entirely sure if I meant to do that, but I remember the power sliding and I thought, wow, this is fucking awesome. So yeah, so I'd go for the RU-251, but I could definitely concur with your.
You're taking the fastest tank in the game, huh?
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
the T-54 lightweight not faster? I'm not
Oh,
sure.
I think the RU is.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I also like the T-54 lightweight as well for the same reasons, but that's a little bit more forgiving, has a bit of armor, right? So
Right. It's
okay.
interesting though when you break down my statistics. I don't think I probably fare as well in a light or medium tank win rate wise, but
But
it's
I
more
guess
fun.
I guess that
It's
wasn't the
what's fun,
question, right?
right?
Yeah, what's
No.
fun, right? So yeah, and then we've answered it. There's another question from ABI very related to you. It's more or less the same question. He just said, what tank do we think best matches our playstyle? So I think we've more or less answered that as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then last question before we jump into the giveaway on my 4 videos. What do you think about the current Battle Pass event? What's your opinion on that?
In general, I really like the Battle Pass events. I think for a small investment, you can get quite a bit of return on your money, so to speak. Obviously, it does require you to participate just about daily to complete your missions in order to progress up. But if we look at the tanks that have been available in each of the battle passes, especially the last one with the Annihilator or the event, it's a great tank, and I, I'm super excited about the Agent, like I said, because the VK is my favorite tank, and if we're gonna put 9 degrees of gun depression on it, I'm all for it. So. Yeah, I'm excited. I like the battle passes, and I hope they stick around for a while.
So I would echo that. I like the battle pass. I think they're fantastic kind of innovation, and I think they're long overdue in the game. I also like the one with the Eraser, the Annihilator, etc. I thought they were great. This one, I think, and I did a video reviewing it today as well. I think it's just I think it's just lazy. I think that this is, and also the marketing annoys me because it's saying it's marketed as a unique tank. It's not. It's a VK2801 with 1 or 2 small changes on it. Right, that's it.
Yeah, that's right.
And I just think that's a bit lazy. But my main problem is that, the marketing on it suggests it's a unique tank. Also, the marketing on it suggests that you get you get the Agent when you buy just the battle pass, the premium pass at it's €549, and that's not right. That only opens up level 1 for you, and you have to go to level 35. Now I know you get some free stuff, but most people are going to give that back to wargaming, trying to get up through the through those levels. So I just think it's a bit disingenuous, and I think the marketing is misleading. Is a kind way of saying it. You could say it's deliberately giving a false promise to people to get them to spend money. And I just thought that this was poor. And I also thought the tank itself is lazy. If you love the VK28 playstyle, surely they could have put a different gun system on it or something, right? Or done something, right? I mean, they don't even have to, for example, if you put an autoloader onto it, or something like the T-71's gun system, something like that would make it, or a 6 loader like they have on the AMX 57, 1357, something that would just make it different, right? So you have a different.
Right.
Because honestly, I played the Agent. I reviewed it in the Battle Pass review. And honestly, okay, there's 9 degrees versus 6 degrees of gun depression, but really, there's no difference in the game experience. So
no, I can't imagine.
Yeah, but anyway, that's just my opinion on that. But overall, I agree with you on the battle pass. So I think so. Then in terms of the prizes, then for mine. So then, if I remember correctly, then obviously the top prize is going to be a war chest. There's 1 tier A premium left, and then there's 2 30-day premium.
Correct. Yeah.
And the premium time, is, I think, fantastic for people who can't normally afford it, right? Because you can get a lot of XP and credits from that, right? So
that's the time to grind. Yeah.
Time to grind, absolutely. So let's jump in and let's do the draw then for my 4 winners. Okay, welcome back. So congratulations to those 4 winners. And again, so we've got eight lucky winners, 8 fantastic prizes. Thank you again, Littlefinger. It's been really fantastic, and I know you put a lot of work into the background for this event. Really pulled out a number for your subscribers. So thank you so much for that. And it's been a pleasure collaborating with you too. As I said, it's been really easy to work with you, and I think we did something fantastic with this mega giveaway for our subscribers. So thanks for that. Would you like to say a few closing words?
To repeat what you said there, it's been great getting to know you. And I think we've communicated well, and hopefully this has gone off without a hitch to our fans and subscribers. So. I know we drug it out a little bit, but and then finally, the tanks and the premium time are coming from Wargaming, so we need to thank them for putting that into the pile, and obviously that was for me reaching that 10,000 subscriber milestone. So thankful that they were able to throw that in. Yeah.
Should probably erase all that criticism we just did, or I just did.
No, hopefully they take our criticism and they work with it. I mean, I like to think that at least the paying members get a say, but
no,
I don't know.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, and I think the only way to improve is to get negative feedback as well as positive, right? So, because that's how everything develops, right? So, okay, well, listen, I think thank you so much. Thanks to Wargaming, thanks to you. Thanks to, of course, our fantastic subscribers, particularly the new ones that have arrived on both our channels, and a very big welcome to them. And I guess I hope that we can continue to deliver quality content for them and make that choice they made to come to us a good one.
Absolutely.
Okay, so goodbye from me, and
goodbye, guys. Thanks for watching. Yep.
Thanks a million, guys. Take it easy. We'll see you on the battlefield.
That's all, folks.